Today on the Morning Edition, we are first alerting you Southwest Alaska is under an ice storm warning this morning, potentially impacting recovery efforts, schools, and local infrastructure across the area. We'll let you know what to expect. Plus, the Hilltop Ski Area has opened early, providing a way to enjoy the wintry mix of weather. Even if you don't have much snow in your yard, you may be able to find it on the hill. And later,
I've never been up here in December, so this is a thrill to see all the lights. We're coming right off of Thanksgiving, jumping right into the holiday season of Christmas.
Reba McEntire is in New York for the Rockefeller Christmas Special happening tomorrow. We'll bring you a special preview of some of the artists expected to perform and a glimpse behind the scenes as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We'll get to the festive fun in just a bit, but Aaron, we are first alerting today.
Yeah, we've got numerous first alert weather days across the state from here in South Central out through Southwest Alaska as well as into the interior. We'll go ahead and break down, give you an overview of what we are expected to see across the state here over the next couple of days. Of course, here in Anchorage, we're first alerting for today with that freezing rain. Now, we are going to hold on to a period of about 3 to 4 hours where we'll see some freezing drizzle before those temperatures warm, leading to a transition back to some rain showers. That's what we'll see across South Central. Meanwhile, out towards Southwest Alaska, we've got some freezing rain, some windy conditions, which will also lead to some blizzard conditions through parts of Southwest Alaska, and some significant icing where we could see the potential for some locations picking up just over about 3/10 to 4/10 of an inch of that ice accumulation, if not some locally heavier amounts. And of course, into the interior, we're first alerting for both Wednesday and Friday. Now, Wednesday comes with a chance for some snow, which will likely bring the most amount of single-day snow that Fairbanks has seen so far this season. And then beyond that, as we close out this week and welcome in the weekend, we're talking about some of the coldest air of the season. So several locations across the state up under some form of a winter weather alert, from winter weather advisories, ice storm warnings. We've got some high wind warnings as well as those winter storm conditions as you head out towards parts of western Alaska. Now, the ice storm warning, ice around 3/4 of an inch. That's the maximum amount possible. I think most locations will see anywhere from about 3/10 to 4/10 of an inch. And then as you head through the winter storm warning, this is where we could see 4 to 8 inches of snow with ice up to 2/10 of an inch. And then, of course, into the interior, nothing significant in terms of the snowfall. It's really going to be that bitter cold that arrives later this week on into the weekend. So that's what we're going to be dealing with across the state. Of course, those temperatures, 31 in Anchorage, 19 in Fairbanks, and 23 degrees in Bethel. And again, those first alert days for today is both for Anchorage as well as Bethel. And then Fairbanks, you'll see that Wednesday and into Friday. So coming up in my full forecast, we'll be talking about this region by region, what the greatest impacts will be, and it comes from this storm system we're currently seeing out towards the Aleutians. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
As Aaron mentioned, the southwest side of the state has been under an ice storm warning since about 3 a.m. Adelmi Ruiz joins us now from the newsroom with a look at what impacts they're currently looking at. Adelmi.
Kristen, the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta could see up to 3/4 of an inch of ice. And while that's not unusual for the area, it still presents risks and could even potentially impact recovery efforts after Typhoon Halong. Aside from the obvious slipping hazard, ice can lead to power outages and car accidents. Paired with high winds, a storm warning could also affect schools. The Lower Kuskokwim School District includes Bethel and a region the size of West Virginia, meaning decisions on delays or school closures are largely made on a local basis.
One of the most recent ice storms we had, an ice event that happened last December, took out a transformer by our district office, and we had a heck of a time keeping schools warm because it was also very, very cold. Folks in Quake who are at the school trying to rebuild the community are facing a water situation there at the school that we have no way of fixing right this second. So the real impact to this storm is that the efforts to rebuild are put on hold for a minute while people are just trying to survive.
In the bigger picture, the ice means planes often won't fly, delaying the transportation of supplies needed to rebuild and repair the communities affected by Typhoon Halong in October. Sweet said that decisions on any closures or delays will be made after assessing the extent of the ice in the region. The warning went into effect at 3 a.m. just this morning and extends to 9 a.m. tomorrow. As we learn more, we'll continue to keep you updated, so make sure to check our website for the latest. Kristen.
All right, thanks to Delmy. We're digging deeper into a new point of contention over the Alaska LNG project. The governor says a deal with South Korea is close and legally binding, but the lead developer disagrees. Our political reporter Will Courtney has those details.
Governor Mike Dunleavy told a Korean news outlet over the weekend that he expects a binding agreement between South Korea for the Alaska LNG project. But when I spoke to the lead developers of the pipeline, they said they're not quite there yet. Breaking down where we're currently at with the LNG pipeline, there are typically 3 phases for the sale of gas. And over the last several months, we've seen the first phase. That's when companies are signing what are known as letters of intent. Glenfarne tells me the deal they expect to sign soon would be the second phase, but the company says it's not legally binding. That contrasts what Governor Dunleavy said over the weekend. His spokesperson, Governor Dunleavy's spokesperson, did not clarify when I asked about this today. And this could be all a major issue when the LNG pipeline becomes a top issue for the legislative session come January. On our website and mobile app right now, the specifics on what we know about this deal and expectations for the January session. Will Courtney, Alaska's news source.
Will speaks at length about potential LNG pipeline legislation with House Speaker Bryce Edgman. You can check out the Alaska Political Pipeline podcast, where he has a conversation posted with Matt Schultz, the Anchorage Reverend running against Congressman Begich. That's available right now wherever you get your podcasts. Representative Delana Johnson of Palmer is now the House Minority Leader. Her appointment comes amid tension after former Minority Leader Mia Costello told Alaska's news source that Johnson and Representative Will Stapp threatened to vote her out before she left her seat. In a statement, Johnson says she stepped up to help stabilize the caucus. The caucus also selected Representative Justin Ruffridge of Soldotna as Minority Whip. Electric rates, gas supply, renewable energy projects, those are among a number of big issues facing Alaska's electric utilities. Chugach Electric's CEO Arthur Miller discussed these topics and other major projects and plans for Alaska's largest electric utility at this week's Make It Monday Forum with the Alaska Chamber of Commerce. Among those projects and plans are a solar project, updating the southern transmission line to the Kenai Peninsula, and building an operations center at Cooper Landing. Miller said the most important is undertaking the natural gas supply.
And we certainly support, in-state development of natural gas, and we want to position our association to ensure reliability over the long term.
Miller said other areas of interest are changes in the electric power industry, like decentralization of the power grid and a heightened interest in decarbonization. The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District is reviewing its policy on library materials, with some hoping to see restrictions placed on what they deem obscene and inappropriate for students. The review comes as the district looks to update a format used statewide by the Alaska Association of School Boards. A school board meeting with planned public testimony is scheduled for today to discuss the banning of certain books. The district says the policy section being considered also includes curriculum and other district operations.
In my opinion, the library policy is fine as it stands. It conforms to standards for the industry, best practices, and we have a very robust process that outlines what parents can do if they have concerns about specific books.
I'm not really a book burner or up for banning anything that says the word sex. However, I have come across books that definitely need to be removed from the school library shelves.
We're told public testimony will be heard at today's meeting. The policy section being discussed also includes curriculum and other district operations. A new court challenge puts Alaska's wildlife management back under the microscope. At issue is whether the state is following its constitutional duty to protect renewable resources for the long haul. The lawsuit claims the Board of Game's predator control plan falls short, arguing it doesn't set clear safeguards for bear populations or limit how long the program can run. Supporters of the plan say the state has the data it needs and is operating responsibly. Justin Matson breaks down the arguments and what it could all mean for a caribou herd in western Alaska.
At the heart of the debate is the Sustainable Yield Clause, which states renewable resources must be managed in a way so they remain productive over time. According to the latest lawsuit, the state is in violation of that clause in 2 different ways.
They did not identify any minimum population objectives for bears, brown or black bears. How you sustainably manage any population without having a minimum population objective.
Commissioner Doug Vincent Lang, one of the defendants in the suit, says specific numbers aren't required under the Sustainable Yield Clause.
We routinely manage a lot of bear populations across the state without having specific thresholds for bear numbers or having bear surveys. We just need to be assured that we can sustain those populations over time.
The suit also argues the plan runs through 2028 without any mechanism to stop it if bear numbers drop below levels needed for long-term sustainability in the nearly 44,000 square miles where the culling occurs.
They have shot almost 200 bears now, and they still don't have a population objective for what's left. And they don't have any sustainability objective for what's the minimum number of bears that we need to have a sustainable population. And that's a population that lives in perpetuity for the next generation and can sustain itself.
The commissioner says that when the Board of Game reinstated the program, the department presented new data that directly addressed the lawsuit's concerns, including questions about the size of the area covered.
We are taking bears off a very small area of the overall bear range in this area, and we're convinced that we haven't yet seen any impact on sustainability of bears in the area. We don't know exactly where the caribou are going to calve every year. So we have a large area where they've historically calved, but we only operate in the calving area.
The legal battle over the predators is to help bring the Mulchatna caribou herd back to sustainable levels for subsistence users. I'm Justin Matson for Alaska's News Source.
Hilltop Ski Area is open for action after opening day last Friday. The general manager says that's the earliest they've opened in several years and saw a pretty good crowd. Around 2,400 guests visited from Friday to Sunday. Hilltop is open 7 days a week, but right now only about 15% of the trails are open. The general manager says they're making snow as fast as possible. So even if there's no snow in your yard, there may be snow at Hilltop. So you're encouraged to check the website. Well, there's a chance to get up close and personal with your favorite Wolverines this week. Anchorage Hockey is taking over the Diamond Center rink this Wednesday for another edition of Skate with the Wolverines. Admission and skate rentals are free, so bring some Sharpies for autographs and some extra excitement. The action kicks off at 4 p.m. Well, did you know that when you go to the DMV to apply for a driver's license and give that information, that it is also sold? Our investigative team dives into the issue to uncover just how much Alaska has made off your information. Coming up next.
And we have several first alert weather days across the state, starting with Southwest Alaska with that significant icing. I'll detail those and what to expect throughout the day. But first at sunrise, 9:48 in Anchorage, 8:22 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back. Those slick roads led to a frightening close call on the Glen Highway yesterday. Take a look at this. Cameras caught a vehicle losing control, sliding into oncoming lanes, missing a car by inches, and slamming into a light pole. The pole crashed down across the highway, as you can see right there, and some drivers didn't even see it until they were right on top of it, even driving over it. A brigade at the weigh station rushed in, waved down traffic, marked the hazard, and helped the driver and passenger get out. They also moved the pole off the road. Anchorage police say no one suffered serious injuries, thank goodness, because that could have been much, much worse, Aaron. That just goes to show you how quickly things can get dangerous when those roads are super icy as they were yesterday.
Yeah, and a really good reminder this morning, those posted speed limits that you see, that's for ideal driving conditions, of which we're not seeing across South Central. So shave a couple of miles off of that miles per hour off your speedometer here over the next couple of days as we continue to see some of those slick roads. We do have a first alert weather day out towards Southwest Alaska with some significant icing likely, and then we'll see snow and cold, which will follow as we welcome in the coming days. Now, we are waking up to a mixed bag of precip out towards Southwest Alaska. This is courtesy of the FFA weather cam out towards Bethel. Those temperatures are holding at 23 degrees. Notice winds. They are gusting up to 45 miles per hour. So we've got some gusty conditions in the forecast. We got some significant icing, and we're also seeing some snow, which will stick around down through parts of southwest Alaska as well. Now, as far as the snowfall and the blizzard concerns, it's really going to be north and northwest of Bethel where we're going to see that better potential for some blizzard conditions. Out towards the Kuskokwim Delta coastline and areas just to the southeast of Bethel is where we're going to see that greatest concern for some freezing rain and some significant icing throughout the day. That could lead to some power outages. Now, this is the sounding that's released in the atmosphere each day. This measures our temperature as well as our dew point throughout the atmosphere. And this blue line is our 32-degree freezing line throughout the atmosphere. Notice as you head several hundred feet above the surface. Now, this is the current temperature at the surface, but as you head a few hundred feet above the surface, we've got this warm nose. So that warm nose is allowing that snow to melt and is falling to the ground as that freezing rain and some ice in the forecast. That's one of the concerns we're watching today. Additionally, we've also got some strong winds out towards western southwest Alaska as well as through the Aleutians. Those winds have been gusting anywhere from about 40 to nearly 80 miles per hour out towards St. George. We've got some blizzard conditions which look likely out towards parts of the Kuskokwim Delta coast as well as through the Yukon Delta. That will stick around throughout the remainder of today. And when it comes to that ice accumulation, we're really watching a fine line from Kipnuk out to northeast towards Bethel as you head out towards Akiak and Aniak and even as far northeast as you head through parts of the middle Kuskokwim Valley. So this is where we're going to be watching that potential for some significant icing. Most locations will likely see up to about 3/10 of an inch of that accumulation. However, we will see that outside possibility that we could see some of those harder hit areas up to 3/4 of an inch. Regardless of how much ice occurs, we are going to see that potential for some power outages, very hazardous road conditions, as well as those boardwalks, which will remain fairly icy here over the next couple of days. And then as that system kind of tapers into some of that or taps into some of that colder air, we'll see a transition to some snow overnight on into our Wednesday. So wintry mix to be expected with some significant icing out towards coastal areas further north, more in the way of a snow rain event, which will also amount to about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of that ice accumulation. And then notice as we head overnight on into our Wednesday, we will begin to see the system kind of winding down, but we will still favor some of that lingering activity. There's that colder weather that arrives as we welcome in the latter half of this week. And we're going to be talking about those temperatures easily dropping well below what we have seen so far this season. We're at 24 degrees Wednesday with some of that snow or a chance for some wintry mix, and then breezy conditions into the weekend. Highs right around 0 with overnight lows and sub-zero values, even colder with the wind chills.
Well, when Alaskans apply for a driver's license, their information is also sold to third parties such as LexisNexis and Carfax. Investigate TV, which works with Alaska's news source, filed public records requests with all 50 DMVs asking how much money was collected, what's done with the money, where the information was sold, and if consumers can opt out. Our investigative team worked to uncover how much Alaska has collected.
Alaskans love driving. Our cars, trucks, fancy new vehicles, and old beaters. According to state data, most people in Alaska drive to work alone. The average commute, almost 20 minutes. And most households have 2 cars, which is higher than most in the country. All that to say, a lot of us have a driver's license. But did you know the information you gave the DMV is sold?
My reaction is red hot. I'll be glad when we can put it into our wallet of our phone, but I do not want anybody else getting that information if I didn't authorize it. So there you go.
I've learned that a long time ago.
Does it bother you or are you fine with it?
Everybody else gets it somehow or another, so, it doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, it is what it is.
Alaska's news source partners at Investigate TV compiled a list of states that sell your information to third parties. Last year, 16 companies bought your information for more than $2 million. LexisNexis has paid the most since 2019. The grand total? More than $9 million.
Is it fine with you, or does it bother you that the DMV sells your information?
I feel like it's not right.
I do have LifeLock, so hopefully that's protecting, but yeah, they probably shouldn't be doing that.
Federal law makes selling your information legal. The Driver's Privacy Protection Act, passed in 1994, protects driver information, but also carved out 14 exceptions called permissible uses. It's used for background checks, insurance, debt collections, and private investigations.
I'm not too happy about it.
No. What are your concerns? If faces could tell a story.
People just don't need to know.
But DMVs across the country reject the idea they are selling information. They say federal law allows them to charge fees to cover the cost of maintaining records. Alaska's DMV declined an on-camera interview, but says the money is put in the general fund, and if there are concerns about privacy, it will be investigated. From the 23 states that provided records, at least $282 million was collected nationwide. For Alaska alone, from 2019 to now, more than $16 million. Rebecca Pulsha, Alaska's news source.
And if you have a tip for our investigative team, you can reach them at 2investigates@ktuu.com.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.